But God tells them this because they need to have this perception that unless you have this veil, because of who we are as human beings, if we don't come to him pure, we're dead. So what is the significance of this veil being torn in two? First of all, the veil was no small thing. It was a thick thing. And the fact that it's ripped from the top to the bottom reveals to us that now access to God is being provided. And we can approach God now. And we just have to do it through Jesus. That is the point of that. That is really a signal that this idea of God living in a temple is not it. And God talks about it even in Isaiah and other places where he says, their heart, I will put my law on their hearts. Right? This is where God is. Ephesians 2 says, so then you are no longer strangers and tenants, but you are fellow citizens of the saints and of the family of God, being built up on the foundation of the apostles and the prophets, Jesus Christ himself being the cornerstone. So here he's going back to the Old Testament, talking about Jesus being a part of that all the entire time, in whom all the building being fitted together grows into a holy temple in the Lord, in whom you also are being built together into a dwelling place of God in the Spirit. And he's telling the Ephesians, you too are a part of this building. We don't need a temple. We are the temple, because this is where we want God to dwell, right here in our heart. And that is the big difference that Jesus brings about in God's kingdom, where once men had this rudimentary, God says, I'll tell you this, I'm there, okay? Deal with that for a couple of thousand years. Then when Jesus comes, he reveals we are spiritual beings. We are to live like we're spiritual beings, which means we live forever. And God needs to be in here. It's not a place where we go. It's not a place where we go. God is not over there. We need to make sure God is in here. That is the fundamental difference between what God was doing to what God is doing now. His revelation is to the world.